Libra, someone once applied for 67 jobs, ghosted by 61, rejected by 6. On the 68th, they finally sat across from a hiring manager who looked them in the eye and said, "You're overqualified, but also not what we're looking for." They left the room in silence, holding their resume and a question that wouldn't let them go. If not this, then what? That someone could be anyone, a man, a woman, a soul like yours. And maybe it is you. Here's the truth no one tells you. While you've been chasing jobs, chasing approval, chasing yes, your real path, your true calling, has been quietly waiting in the one place you haven't looked, inside you. Let's not sugarcoat this, Libra. If you don't stop chasing what isn't yours, you'll miss what's been trying to find you all along. Drop this in the comments to declare your shift. No more chasing. I'm stepping into my calling. Now stay with me, because what comes next will reveal why the job market keeps rejecting you, and the sacred assignment that's about to rise in its place. Why jobs keep slipping through your fingers. Libra, you keep asking yourself, why does this keep happening? Why do doors close after so much hope? Why does it feel like you're always so close, yet never quite chosen? Let me tell you something that no one else will. It's not because you're not enough. It's not because your qualifications are lacking. And it's definitely not because the world doesn't need you. It's because you've been aiming your energy at something that no longer fits your soul. You're not lazy, you're not unlucky, you're just misaligned. The truth is, you've outgrown the system you keep trying to fit into. Every job you chased, every opportunity that ghosted you, wasn't punishment, it was protection. You see, your soul is sensitive, intelligent, balanced, and it's beginning to reject anything that feels like a cage. Because jobs, especially the wrong ones, can easily become cages dressed up as opportunities. Your spirit wasn't made to serve someone else's shallow dream. It was made to fulfill a divine assignment. But when you forget that, you start chasing what was never meant for you. You run after positions that can't hold your potential. You apply for titles that dim your light instead of lifting it. That's why the jobs keep slipping through your fingers. Not because they're too good for you, but because they're too small for who you're becoming. Libra, the rejection you feel is a sacred redirection, a spiritual reroute. You're being pulled away from the noise and toward the quiet truth that lives inside you. That truth says, you are not meant to be found in someone else's system. You are meant to build something that carries your essence. The interviews you didn't get, the emails that never came, they were all whispers from the universe saying, this is not your path. Keep walking. You weren't meant to follow a script written by someone else. You were meant to write the script that others would one day follow. Libra, stop seeing these moments as failures. See them as invitations to return home, to your gift, your voice, your real purpose. The jobs aren't slipping away because you're behind. They're slipping because something greater is ahead. And now, it's time to turn around and face it. You're looking for stability in the wrong place. Libra, let's be honest with ourselves. You're not just chasing a paycheck. You're chasing something deeper. You're chasing a feeling, a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, something that makes you feel like your existence matters. You're looking for stability, but not just financial. You're searching for emotional grounding. You want to wake up and feel like your life has weight, like what you do means something. Like you're not just floating through the motions day after day. But here's the truth. You're looking for that sense of safety in places that can't give it to you. You're hoping that a job title will give you identity. You're hoping that a direct deposit will give you peace. You're hoping that being hired will make you feel worthy. But Libra, your spirit knows better. Your spirit doesn't want to be used. It wants to be honored. And that's why you feel so torn. That's why no job feels quite right. That's why you keep saying, maybe this next one will feel different, but it doesn't. Because the system you're trying to survive in was never built for someone like you. Most of the jobs you're chasing are simply tools to survive, not paths to become who you truly are. You were not made to live only for weekends. You were not created to feel alive just after 5 p.m. Libra, your soul was designed to create meaning, not just collect paychecks. To spark change, not just fill roles. To rise, not just remain. That silent pressure you feel when you get dressed for another interview, that sinking feeling after another rejection letter, That's not fear. That's your higher self saying, there's more than this. There's something sacred I meant to do. The problem isn't that you don't want to work. The problem is that you're trying to find spiritual purpose in something that only offers financial reward. And while money can buy you time, it can't give you mission. While jobs can offer stability, they can't give you identity. So if you feel like you're stuck right now, it's not failure. It's a sign you've outgrown the shallow pool you've been swimming in. You're not broken. You're being rerouted. Because your spirit no longer wants to just get by. It wants to rise, to lead, to build something lasting. And until you honor that, no amount of income will ever feel like enough. The divine detour. Why things suddenly stopped working. Libra, you were moving forward. You had a plan. You were doing what you thought was right. You followed the rules. You showed up on time. You gave your best, even when it hurt. And just when it looked like things were falling into place, they started falling apart. Suddenly, everything that used to work stopped working. The jobs you once qualified for now reject you. The people who once praised you now disappear. The doors that opened before now stay shut without explanation. You feel confused, maybe even forgotten. But this isn't a breakdown. This is a divine detour. It's not your fault. You didn't do something wrong. What's happening isn't chaos, it's correction. The universe saw something coming that you couldn't, and so it stepped in. It blocked what you thought was a blessing because it wasn't big enough for your future. Sometimes, Libra, heaven will interrupt your life, not to harm you, but to protect what's sacred inside you. You didn't lose your path. Your path is being rewritten. And the reason it feels uncomfortable now is because your soul is leaving behind old habits, old systems, old cycles that no longer match who you're becoming. This is what spiritual evolution feels like. Not soft, not easy, but absolutely necessary. Because the person you're becoming can no longer survive in the same space where you used to settle. The world you're leaving behind doesn't have the language for your next chapter. And your calling, your real calling, needs room to stretch. That's why nothing makes sense anymore. That's why your old ways aren't working. Because something greater is being built behind the scenes. And in order to receive it, you must be willing to release what was never meant to go with you. The real reason you've been chasing jobs. Libra, let's go deeper. Why do you keep applying? Why do you keep hoping that the next job will finally make you feel secure? It's not just about money, is it? You've been told all your life, find something stable, get a job with benefits, just be thankful someone hired you. And because of that, you started chasing jobs not as a path, but as proof. Proof that you're responsible. Proof that you're worth something. Proof that you're not falling behind. But here's the hidden truth. You're not chasing money. You're chasing permission. Permission to feel useful, to feel important, to feel like you matter in a world that keeps asking you to prove it. You've been searching for a job that will finally say, yes, we see you. Yes, you're good enough. Yes, we want you. But Libra, what if you were never meant to ask for that kind of validation? What if your worth was never supposed to be tied to someone else's company, position, or opinion? You don't need a contract to confirm your calling. You don't need a job offer to justify your identity. Your value didn't begin with a job, and it won't end with one either. A job can give you tasks, a job can give you titles, but it can never give you what's already yours. Your light, your wisdom, your gift. The real reason you've been chasing these jobs is because you've been looking for someone to finally say, you're enough. But you've always been enough. Even without a salary, even without a position, even without applause. Libra, your power doesn't come from being chosen. It comes from choosing yourself. You don't need to be hired to be valid. You don't need to be accepted to be whole. You don't need to be picked to be powerful. Because the truth is, you've always had permission. You've just been waiting for someone else to hand you what you were born with. And now, it's time to stop waiting. It's time to rise. Do this instead. Build your own space. Libra, you've spent so much time waiting for a reply, for an opportunity, for a door to open. But the waiting ends here. Because here's what you do instead. You stop waiting to be chosen. And you start becoming the answer. You start building a space where your gift can live. A space where your soul doesn't have to shrink. A space where your spirit can finally breathe. Think back. When was the last time someone came to you and said, "You're really good at that. How did you do that? Can you help me with this?" That wasn't random. That was your purpose showing up in plain clothes. Maybe you're the one who always finds the right words when people are falling apart. Maybe you know how to create peace in chaos. Maybe your hands heal. Maybe your voice moves people. Maybe your ideas solve problems that others run from. Whatever it is, that's your starting point. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be popular. It just needs to be yours. Here's what to do. Take what you already carry inside you. Give it form. Through writing, coaching, teaching, creating, mentoring, serving. Share it with honesty. Be consistent, even when no one's clapping yet. Build a space around it, a brand, a platform, a purpose. There are people right now who are searching for the thing you were born to give. But they'll never find it if you keep forcing yourself into systems that were never made for your gift. Those systems want you to compete, but your purpose isn't here to compete. It's here to complete, to heal, to serve, to change lives. You don't need to wait for a job to validate you. You can create the space where your gift becomes the job. You can build a life around your calling, one brick, one post, one person at a time. And the beauty of that path, Libra? You don't have to chase it. When you build it from truth, it starts finding you. Practical steps to activate your calling. Libra, now that you understand your job is not your calling, let's bring this down to earth. Let's take your gift and give it direction. This isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about starting with what's already in your hands. Step 1. Write down the things people always come to you for. Is it advice, ideas, emotional support, creative solutions? These are clues, hidden signs that your gift has already been active, just not fully expressed. Step 2. Ask yourself, how can I turn this into something helpful? Maybe you write about it, maybe you teach it, maybe you offer a small service to others. Even one person helped is a step forward. Step 3. Begin creating something around it. It could be free content, a small offer, a community, a conversation, anything that shares your light. Don't overthink it. Don't wait to be perfect. Just begin. Step 4. Understand this powerful truth. Value attracts value. When you pour your heart into something honest, it draws the right energy back to you. Not always instantly, but always eventually. Step 5. Release the pressure to succeed fast. Fast results don't always last. But alignment? That stays with you forever. This isn't about chasing recognition. It's about staying in alignment with your soul. And from that alignment, Libra, your energy will begin to shift. Your vibration will become clear. And your efforts, no matter how small, will begin to open new paths. Because your income, your opportunities, your growth will always match the truth of your energy. And when your energy finally matches your calling, you won't have to run anymore. The right things will start finding you. Signs your calling is activating. Libra, how do you know when you're finally stepping into your true calling? How can you tell that something sacred is waking up inside of you, even if it hasn't yet shown up in your bank account, or your title, or your outer world? It begins subtly, quietly, but undeniably. You'll feel it in your sense of time. The hours don't drag anymore. You stop looking at the clock and start looking at what's flowing through your hands. You feel more connected to what you're doing. Even if you're doing it alone, suddenly, the things that used to drain you don't have the same power. You may still feel tired. Yes, you're human, but underneath that tiredness, there's fuel. A deeper fire that doesn't burn out. That's a sign. Another sign? You're not chasing people anymore. They start finding you. Not because you shouted the loudest, but because your energy has started speaking before you even open your mouth. People feel it. They sense something different about you. They're drawn to you. Your clarity, your calm, your confidence, your care, that's your vibration rising. That's your light doing the work for you. And here's something even more powerful. You begin to feel peace even when no one's clapping. You don't need 100 likes. You don't need to go viral. You don't need anyone to validate you anymore. Because when you're finally in your calling, Libra, you feel at home in your efforts. Even when the results haven't shown up yet, you know they're coming. That's how deep alignment works. It makes you trust timing more than evidence. It teaches you to walk by knowing, not by seeing. You begin to notice small synchronicities. You speak something, and then it happens. You write something, and someone tells you it's exactly what they needed to hear. You show up, and the right eyes find you. None of this is luck. It's the universe confirming you're finally where you were always meant to be. Your calling isn't loud in the beginning. It's gentle. It grows quietly in the background while you stay consistent. But once it activates, Libra, your life begins to organize itself around it. The right people come. The right lessons appear. The right opportunities find you. Not because you begged, not because you pushed, but because your energy became undeniable. That's when you realize you no longer need to chase. You've become the thing that's worth discovering. And now, the world is beginning to notice. Stop chasing. Become the answer. Libra, let this settle deep into your spirit. You were never meant to chase opportunity. You were meant to become the opportunity. You keep running toward open doors. But what if the doors were supposed to open toward you? What if the reason things haven't worked out is because you were always meant to stand still and let what's meant for you recognize your energy? When you align with your divine purpose, you stop feeling desperate. You stop stretching yourself thin to impress people who can't even see your real value. You stop looking for spaces to fit in because you finally understand you were born to build the space. You stop asking, who will choose me? And you start asking, what do I carry that others need? And that shift changes everything. When your soul is anchored in purpose, Libra, you become magnetic. People don't just notice you, they trust you. They are drawn to what you embody. They want to learn from you. They want to grow with you. They want to support what you've built. Because it feels real. You're not chasing anymore. Because you've become the answer to the question people are quietly asking in their hearts. They don't need another product. They need presence. They need wisdom. They need direction. And that's what your calling provides. You weren't sent here to beg for a seat at the table. You were sent to build the table. One that welcomes others who are also seeking meaning, truth, healing, and growth. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to play small so you can be accepted by people who are still hiding from their own truth. This is the time to rise, to step out of the noise, to stop trying to survive the systems that keep burning you out. Libra, the scramble is over. You've been chasing crumbs when your soul was designed to feed nations. Now is the moment to walk away from everything that made you forget your worth. Because your calling, your true calling, requires your full presence. Not your apology, not your silence, not your hesitation. You are not a follower. You are not just an employee. You are not a placeholder in someone else's dream. You are a solution, a message, a guide, a mirror, a creator of something sacred and lasting. So stop asking for approval. Stop waiting for the world to say you're ready. You were born ready. And now, it's time to remember who you are. When you fully embody your truth, you won't need to chase another thing ever again. Because the moment you become the answer, everything that's been looking for you finally finds you. You already are what you've been looking for. Libra, you've been searching, trying to find the right position, the right title, the right system that finally sees your worth. But all along, the answer wasn't out there. It was in you. You were never meant to just be part of someone else's structure. You were meant to be the foundation of something new, something honest, something healing, something that reflects the wisdom and light you carry inside. The job you've been chasing, it was never about tasks, deadlines, or paychecks. It was a mirror. It was your soul saying, find me, choose me, let me speak. You are the message. You are the movement. You are the miracle that someone else is praying for. Your story, your experience, your voice, your gift, it's not small, it's not accidental, it's not invisible. It is the key that unlocks other people's lives. It is the spark that lights someone else's path, and it's time to honor it fully. Don't give up your gift for temporary comfort. Don't trade your calling for safety. Security without purpose will always feel empty. Libra, you've come too far to keep settling. You've carried too much truth to keep it hidden. You've cried too many nights trying to belong in places that were never meant to hold your greatness. This is your turning point, the moment where you stop shrinking, the moment where you stop asking, and you start becoming. You are not behind, you are not late, you are not lost, you are right on time. So take a breath and step into what's already been waiting for you. Comment this now if your soul feels ready. My gift is my path. I no longer chase, I create. And if something deep inside you whispered yes during this message, then this space was made for you. Subscribe now, Libra, not just for guidance, but for confirmation, for clarity, for alignment. This isn't just about surviving another season. This is about stepping into a lifetime of truth. You've spent years looking for the job, but the job was always looking for you to awaken. Now it has. Your calling is calling. Answer it now.